What's up, guys? This is 100 plus on Nuketown again. This is the other 100 plus I was talking about in the last video. I think it's like 106, and I don't think I was playing that great, but I think it's, you know, it's still 100 plus. I don't know if that's really considered great on Nuketown, but I'm gonna post it anyways. I mean, if y'all like it, make sure y'all drop a like. But I wanted to talk about a story of mine of it was back in high school. I used to be actually a pretty bad kid in high school. I graduated around 16, about 16 and a half. I graduated high school, and before that, you know, I was thinking it was about my sophomore year, maybe it might have been my freshman year, and it was around first period where I started. I guess I was doing something stupid. I was running around the school with like a boombox, playing music, you know, walking into classrooms like a dumbass. And my teacher, she called my mother and told her that you need to come down here and pick up your son from school because he's acting up again. But this time she didn't just say that. She had a suggestion of bringing my mother down to the school because she didn't work, so it was kind of easy. It was kind of easy for her to actually do this. She didn't work, so she came down to the school, and my teacher suggested for her to escort me to every classroom my sophomore year, throughout the hallways, and actually sit by me in class. And I'm talking about, you know, there was 1,000 kids looking at me like I was weird as hell, dude. There was this really pretty chick that I used to like in high school, and when my mother came down, it was around my 3rd period class or something like that, and she sat next to me in the classroom. My mother legitimately walked me to every classroom throughout the hallways, held my hand. I'm talking about I let her hold my hand, but I'm talking about she forced her hand. Like, she actually forced me to hold her hand. And I'm talking about I was sitting there, like, you know, trying to freaking run away, like trying to I was dragging myself throughout the hallways like a total idiot. And she came over. She escorted me at 3rd period, but she sat in 3rd period with me, and she told this chick that sat next to me, "Excuse me, can you move? This is my son, and I need to sit next to him." And I'm talking about, I was so embarrassed. I think my face was pure red. And she actually sat next to me in that whole classroom. And then I had one of my friends that I used to walk home with that shouted out, "Hey, isn't that your mom?" And like in front of the whole classroom. And I was like, "No, maybe." I was like, "Oh man, this is probably the most embarrassing time of my life." And basically, she walked me to every classroom throughout my whole entire sophomore year. Sat there with me in every classroom. And I'm talking about, this was a one-time ordeal too. This wasn't like, thank God it wasn't, you know, over and over again. But this was like probably the most embarrassing time of my life. And after this experience, I probably could not ever get embarrassed again. Like, I hope for like anybody that's in high school, y'all don't have to do that, because I'm talking about every girl that I liked in high school did not like me back after this one. And my mother did a lot of crazy things, you know, because I was always a bad kid. You know, I was always acting up. I was always in ISS and stuff like that. But she, there was another time where she, what was it? She came down to the school and told my friends, you know, like embarrassing stories of my life, to actually like try to you know, like mind fuck me, like kind of like get me straight in my head, because I was acting up. And you know, she thought, I guess in her head, that if I torture him, or if I tell, you know, if I tell these girls that, you know, he likes, maybe he'll start behaving, and I won't have to come back up to his school and set him straight. So I mean, she went to, you know, a few people that I hung out with, because she asked my teachers, hey, who does he hang out with a lot? And my teachers, you know, walked with her to these people, and my mother told them embarrassing stuff about me. That was like, oh my god, man. I was like, out of all the shit that's happened to me in high school, middle school, and elementary school, what my mother has done is just really and honestly is not as bad as it really seems anymore. Like, for me now, you know, nowadays, you grow up, you mature, you don't act the same way that you used to in high school. High school, I know a lot of people think it's, you know, fun, and it's supposed to be fun. You know, it's supposed to be the times you meet, you know, you're a girl, or you know, you get your first girlfriend, or, you know, this and that, right? But a lot of shit that she did kind of actually helped. In all seriousness, like, it did. You know, it made me the person I am today. Like, you know, I probably wouldn't be able to do Twitch streaming or YouTube and just be myself if it wasn't for all this embarrassing stuff that she's done to me in my life. Because I used to be really shy. I used to be pretty shy, and I used to not talk a lot, to be honest with you. And just through all this shit that she's done, kind of helped me like be myself in person. You know, I'll go to the grocery store, and the other day, there was this goose in the parking lot. There, somebody told me it was a goose. I thought it was a duck at first, but there was this goose in the parking lot, and I took a video of it too. And I was chasing the goose around the parking lot, screaming "duck, duck, goose." And I'm not messing with you either. I was screaming "duck, duck, goose," and I swear to God, there was a group of people standing outside, I guess, smoking a cigarette from that grocery store. And, you know, there was a couple people walking back, you know, walking out of the grocery store, looking at me like I was a idiot. But it was only me, and I was at the grocery store. I thought, you know, it really is something else to just be yourself in person, because a lot of people tend to, you know, attach and like you for who you are when you're not being somebody else, you're not being fake. And that's what I talked about last video of, you know, the chick that was pretending to be somebody that she was totally not. And you're not gonna, you know, really find those kind of people that you enjoy hanging out with, that fit your personality, or you know, you get along with really well, you like. Because if you're pretending to be somebody you're not, then it takes time, and that's why most relationships don't work out. And that's why it takes them so long to, you know, really see the true colors of somebody, because they don't really act like themselves. A lot of people don't. And I'm not saying like everybody, but I know some people that don't, and I know some people that do. And they don't really act like themselves. So, you know, it takes them about a month to actually get to know the person and see them in true colors, because behind closed doors, you're somebody totally different. For a lot of people that, you know, go out in public, they act, you know, totally different too. But, you know, for the most part, being yourself is something that I really have enjoyed, and it really has made me so much more happier of a person to act like that. Because when you have, you know, when you're yourself, you don't have to worry about, you know, other people. You don't have to, you know, worry about, oh, what is he gonna think about me, or what is she gonna think about me if I act like a fucking idiot. Maybe. You know, you don't really think about those things when you're so used to being yourself after a while. And it helps. It really does help. And you find Mr. or Mrs. Right really easy, just being yourself. And there was this chick that messaged me on Facebook about 4 days ago, and last time I talked to her was God knows how long. It's been like 2 years. And she messaged me on Facebook. I actually found my Facebook or something like that. And this chick used to be a real good friend of mine. And she said, you know, she sent me a screenshot of what I said to her a long time ago. And she said, I couldn't get this out of my head. And I was like, who is this? because I didn't remember, because it was so long that we haven't talked. And she was like, this is her name, and then she said, and then I was like, oh, and then I was like, what's wrong, or something like that. I started talking to her. We sent a couple messages back and forth, and then we ended up calling each other to get, catch up on things. And she was like, this of my ex, my ex-boyfriend, or, she had some problems. She was, teared up and crying, and I was trying to tell her, that if you and your boyfriend are fighting like that consistently, then it's about time you need to detach that person. And that's a lot of things people don't seem to understand, is that, a lot of young love is going to be up and down. And there's very rare people that meet their true love in high school. And if you do, you are like one of the fortunate ones that do. But you can't get beat up because, you want that person in your life. I mean, there's so many different voids you can fill in your life with friends, or friends with benefits, or even like, if you need attention, that's what you need. You need to slowly detach to that person that you're consistently fighting with, and they're hurting your feelings, they're treating you like shit. And it comes down to respect. If y'all don't respect each other, then y'all are never gonna make it work. It's gonna be a fight after another. And this was just to be with one of my exes that I finally realized after a while that it was like, it was a fight after a fight. I mean, you couldn't get a sentence out without starting a fight. And when it becomes like that, then you need to start detaching to that person. You need to start realizing, well, there's other ways to fill that void. And that person is not Mr. Right or Mrs. Right for you, because, I mean, it's been what, like maybe 3 months, and then all of a sudden y'all are fighting. I mean, look how long people are staying in marriages and stuff like that. 19 years, 20 years. You really think you can make it 20 years with that person if you're fighting over everything y'all do? I mean, that's some life advice, and that's some, just things that made me a better person, and some embarrassing, like, it's embarrassing stories, true, but, everything happens for a reason. And when you look back on things, for people that are going through a shitty time right now, when you look back, and it might take a day, it might take a week, it might take a month, but eventually things are gonna get better, like they did before. Like, before you were in that shitty ass phase, things were good, right? So don't do something you're gonna regret because you're going through a bad time. Like I said, it might take a day, it might take a week, it might take a month for things to get better, but sooner or later they're gonna get better, just like they were before. And I mean, that's basically what I wanted to say. I'm still working on a few, so I'm trying to bring back some memories of some crazy stories of mine that I used to have. But I mean, I'm trying to make this a little bit more entertaining this time. Hopefully, this one's kind of scattered, but I don't know if this was like a better idea. Maybe like giving y'all life advice or something like that might be something y'all might enjoy more than stories. Like, I'm just trying to mix up my YouTube a little bit, trying to find what's really good on it. But I hope y'all do like the gameplay. I mean, it's pretty badass. It's 100 plus on. I mean, it's really not much, but I mean, I'm always good at Nuketown, so. But anyways, guys, if y'all did enjoy this, make sure I leave a like. If y'all have questions, or if y'all need me to answer something, if y'all liked it, just drop a comment down below, and I'll look at it right away. I'll help you out, or let me know what y'all think about this. And this was Mr. Badass, and I'll see you.